This is the reference photo I want to use for this demonstration, and I've increased the contrast on this so that it shows up easier. It makes it look a little bit more like ink than pencil, but it really is just a mechanical pencil I'm drawing. And keep a simple uh, version of it. I just want a basic hull, basic cabin. You can put on a few little details, and I'm drawing this on a separate piece of paper, so I can make all the corrections I want, erase it, and fix it up. And I'm going to transfer it by putting graphite all over the back using this graphite stick. It's just, I think this is an HB. I think a 2B would be better for this. It would work a little faster. And then tape it down onto my watercolor paper. I've got a sharp, fine tip ballpoint that'll just press really hard into the drawing paper, and tape down so that you can check it and put it back down at exactly in the same place. And I only need to transfer the main shapes because I've drawn on top of that onto my watercolor paper, getting the detail. But once you've got the main shapes as a guide, then you can add the little bits and pieces, all the decorative stuff. I'll put a few shapes in the distance here. Important now to select the areas you want to mask out. And I want the masks and the rolled up jib to be protected so that I can wash right over top with the sky and mountains. Any area that you think the highlights are going to hit, top of the mast, the top of the cabin, just put fine bits of masking fluid. Maybe a few things in the distance there. And it's got to dry completely before we can do this. Let's wet the entire sky area. Tiny bit of cadmium orange, and then a real strong mix of cobalt blue into that. You can use a bit of burnt sienna in there if you want it to get even darker. Keep a little cleaner blue on that side just for variety. Each brush stroke getting a little bit more paint and a little less water. This way I can sort of control the edges and prevent it from bleeding too much. As I get into the real dark stuff, I'll switch over to ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. And a lot drier mixture. Less water on the brush and more paint. Yeah, pull this hill right over top of it. I'm getting a puddle collecting at the bottom because of the wet paper. I'm going to catch that in a minute with a clean brush. I want to mix some greens up now with the raw sienna and cobalt for this foreground. I want to just adjust this value of this bit. See if I can get it a little darker. I change my mind about which mountain comes from front. Not sure if that's going to stay lifted out. It's still pretty wet and it tends to want to flow back in.